Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dominus Est. For those of you who are joining us for the first time tonight, Dominus Est is a good news, good vibes website that was launched in 2019 by His Eminence Cardinal Tagle for the purpose of new evangelization. And we have since evolved, and we now have a few shows with the overriding objective of sharing our love for Christ so that we see Christ in every day, in every way, in everything. And this show is in-depth, and the objective of in-depth is to help our now 68,000 followers gain a deeper understanding of the faith by inviting special guests as we have today. So today is a very special day because this morning, if you would remember, if you attended the Mass earlier today at 9 a.m., there was the launch of the 500 years of Christianity for the Archdiocese of Manila. And today is a very special day for the Archdiocese of Manila because we celebrate the establishment of Manila as a diocese. And maybe we can learn more about that later from Father Jason Laguerta, our founding priest here, who is also, in fact, a church history professor. Tama po ba, Father Jason? And welcome everyone. To those who don't know who I am, I'm Margaux Salcedo. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dominus Est. And Father Jason, would you do the honor of welcoming our most esteemed guest for today?
Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat, and good evening everyone wherever you are in the world tonight. And as Margaux said, this is a very special opportunity and moment for us to be with our Lolo, the Lolo of the church in the Philippines, if we may call him that way. So I would not take long in introducing him because we are all excited to have him with us tonight. I would like to introduce to all of you our Lolo Gaudencio Cardinal Rosales. Lolo Dency.
I may add, Father Jason, hello po, good evening po. We have the privilege po now of calling him daw po Lolo Dency, as he is fondly called by those who know him better, who know him well. And I was reading up on him, Father Jason, Cardinal Rosales, we were reading up on you po. And if I may, just to give our audience a background, he is now, of course, you know, he is now the Archbishop-Emeritus of the Archdiocese of Manila. But let's go back in time to 1974. Father Jason, hindi pa po ako pinapanganak noon. Cardinal, I see here that in 1974, he was then Father Rosales. He was named Auxiliary Bishop pala of Manila, the first Batanggenyo to be so named. And then he received his, ang tawag po ba dito, Father Jason, is Crozier?
Yeah.
Crozier?
Yeah, the staff.
From the Vicar General of Lipa, Venerable Alfredo Maria Obviar, later Bishop of Lucena. And ang sabi po dito is you have used that ever since. Tama po ba, Cardinal?
Correct. I've never used any other staff.
Yes. And you took care daw po of the ecclesiastical district of Eastern Rizal, as well as San Juan, Mandaluyong, and Grace Park, Caloocan.
Sure.
And then Cardinal Rosales, or then Father Rosales, or Bishop Rosales then, was consecrated Bishop of the titular see of, paano po ba ito pinapronounce, Cardinal? Oescus? Orescus, in a ceremony on October 28, Father Jason, 1974. It was, do you still remember it, Cardinal? It was, or is it like yesterday?
I was 2 years old, Margaux. I was 2 years old.
And then in 1980, he was appointed rector of San Carlos Seminary. So, yan po, Father Jason, naabutan niyo na po ba yan? Because in San Carlos Seminary, was Cardinal Rosales ever your professor?
Hindi pa. But of course, we would have loved him to be our rector, no? But yeah, our rector then was Monsignor Alan Agano.
Okay, and then in 1982, And I heard from our friends over at TV Maria earlier, Cardinal, that this moment in your life had a great impact on you and your love for ecology. In 1982 daw po, you were named Coadjutor Bishop of Balay in Bukidnon in Mindanao, and later canonically installed as its second bishop on September 14, 1984.
Right.
And then of course, we get to Manila, and Cardinal Rosales was named Archbishop of Manila by Pope John Paul II on September 15, 2003, and then installed on November 21, 2003, and then elevated to the College of Cardinals on February 22, 2006.
Yeah.
And the following year, Cardinal Rosales was appointed for a 5-year term to the 15-member Council of Cardinals for the Study of Organizational and Economic Concerns of the Apostolic See. And then in 2008, because he turned 75, he offered his resignation from governing the Archdiocese of Manila. But they said no. They wanted him to stay. Siguro po, Cardinal Rosales, kung pwedeng forever, they would ask you to stay forever. So the Holy See did not accept his resignation until 2008, 9, 10, 11. 3 years later, 2 months after his 79th birthday, Pope Benedict XVI finally accepted his resignation, and then it became Cardinal Tagle as his successor, who I believe is also very close to Cardinal Rosales. Tama po ba, Cardinal? Yes. So thank you for gracing us with your presence on this very historical day, especially because it's the topic is about the Archdiocese of Manila. But muntik na po namin kayong tanungin kung nandun po kayo nung nung naging diocese yung Manila.
Not that long, but that far long, yeah. But I'm now 88 years old. 88 years old and a half. Yeah. And
oh my goodness!
And 63 years as a priest.
And
Wow!
47 years as a bishop, Lolo Dency, no? Almost golden.
As a bishop, it's 73, going to be 74. Yeah.
All those numbers are more than my entire life.
Yeah.
So, thank you for devoting your entire life to serving the people and God and lost souls like myself. Yes po. But before anything else, now that you're 88 po, kumusta naman po kayo? How is your health? How are you still exercising? Kumusta naman po? Ano po kinakain niyo ngayon?
I do the usual walking, no heavy exercise for now, but at the same time, thank God, well, surviving. Some of my friends from Manila will say, "Oh, magaling pa si Cardinal, si Lolo. Bakit po? Wala kayong sakit." Oh yes, ako'y walang sakit, pero lahat ay masakit.
Totoo po ba yun? Parang hindi naman po.
Hindi masyado, pero pagbangon mo sa umaga, you could feel that these bones are rattling. So, anyway, that's part of the
It's so nice to see that you're still very sharp, and siguro po nami-miss nyo yung activities of the hectic activities of an archbishop.
But I'm happy. I'm released from all that. I'm very happy. I'm released from all that. Yeah, but certainly you miss it in the usual rigmarole when you're active, meeting people, going here and there, attending. Those are all gone. But at the same time, I am happy it's no longer there.
Yeah, Lolo Dency, how is your day like nowadays? Especially,
You'll be surprised. Okay, just for today, we usually wake up at 5 o'clock, sometimes 3:45. Right. The community will come a little later, but then after that, wash up, say morning prayers, either at the chapel or in my room, and then make your meditation at around 5, 5:15, 5:30. Then in the chapel 6:30, we have the mass, and then after the mass, it's downstairs. We have breakfast, and then after breakfast, immediately I take a walk. We have you could be Jason. We have a 10-hectare, a 20-acre property. It's very, very big. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we just, and then back again. All right, back to the chapel, then to my room. Yeah. Yeah.
So plenty of exercise, Lolo Dency.
Plenty. This evening again, we'll do the walk again, but saying the rosary this time.
We will take your tip that the key to a long life is walking while praying the rosary.
Please God. Yeah, good.
So what do you miss most po about the Manila Cathedral and the Archdiocese of Manila as we commemorate the establishment of Manila as a diocese po?
Well, of course, Manila, of course, I miss most of all the priests, right? Places to miss. I have many places that I have really missed up to now. You know, I was long in Mindanao. I served Bukidnon and Lanao del Sur. I was there for 11 years. My longest assignment really was in Mindanao. So I really miss those people. Right? Again, I miss people rather than places. Sorry to say that. Okay, but then of course in Manila, of course, you have beautiful cathedrals with the churches, very fine people, right, who are concerned with you. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, this is, if ever, that's all.
Cardinal?
It goes again. I do a lot of reading. It could be something you will be surprised at. I still read a lot. Yeah,
that's great.
Yes, I read a lot.
Yeah, what are you reading po right now? Fratelli Tutti po siguro.
At the moment, I have Father Radcliffe's God is Alive. Yeah, and I want to be finished with it. And then I just finished Mother Teresa. Right, somebody gave me a book. Yeah. And just yesterday or 2 days ago, Ambassador Howard D. sent me St. Joseph. Beautiful. I just went through it. I have not, I just read one article in it, and that's the Sleeping St. Joseph. I received the book only 2 days ago. And I would recommend that to priests to read that. Jason, I try to ask the priest to get that. Manila. You remember when I was in Manila, I always give us Christmas gift. Remember, I cloned some of the books and then said, "This is my Christmas gift." Every year I gave the priest one extra book or two to read. Now, 2 days ago, Ambassador Howard D. sent me this beautiful book, and I have plenty of assignments there.
It's a very, very timely book to read now too, because it's the year of Saint Joseph as proclaimed by Pope Francis.
Exactly. I think that's the reason why Ambassador D gave me one of those books. And
yes, in fact, Father Jason, I think, has been going around the different churches that are pilgrimage churches for Saint Joseph. Tama po ba, Father Jason?
Yes. And Lolo Dency is also living now sa seniorate of Saint Joseph, no? Tama po, Cardinal, no?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm staying at the seniorate, the Saint Joseph seniorate. Yeah.
But
yun ang residence ni Cardinal.
Yeah.
So, but Saint Joseph, it's the year of Saint Joseph. But of course, the patron of the Philippines and of course our mother church is Immaculate Conception. Yeah. So, ano naman po yung impact ni Mama Mary on you? So, I mean, aside from reading the book on Saint Joseph po now, because I just want to bring it back to Manila Cathedral.
Okay, of course, for Blessed Mother, of course, the Rosary, right? I say the Rosary every day, sometimes 2 rosaries, sometimes 3 rosaries, but at least, yeah. And don't be surprised. I have said it daily since 1947.
Oh my.
You've never missed a day, Lolo
Not a
Dency?
day.
Not one day?
Not one day.
Wow.
Not one
Since
day.
1947.
That was the year I entered the seminary.
San Jose Seminary. Tama po ba?
Right.
And at that time, do I remember it right? They were rebuilding the Manila Cathedral because it was in ruins after 1945?
No, not yet. This is only 2 years after the Second World War. They'll start the rebuilding of the cathedral again when Santos was there, Rufino Santos.
Cardinal Santos.
He was that cardinal. He was Archbishop Santos. Yeah, and they inaugurated the cathedral, Manila Cathedral, on the year I was already ordained a priest, 1958.
Oh, okay po. So when Manila Cathedral was inaugurated, that was the same year po that you did.
It is in ruin. In fact, there is something when you ask what do you want the Archdiocese of Manila to remember, to recall? And I tell you now, I want the Manileños to remember the last year of the Japanese occupation. That was the time when Manila was bombarded like, it was a ruin. Bombarded, dynamited, bombed, right, and burned. Yeah. It was, I want the Manila people to remember that Manila was only second to Warsaw, Poland in destruction. In matters of physical, material destruction. They say Warsaw, Poland was bombarded, powdered by the forces that wanted to liberate Warsaw from the Germans. That is the worst. Yeah. The second is Manila, they say. I wanted, and that was because practically all the beautiful, practically, absolutely, nothing remained of Intramuros except San Agustin.
Oh, so it was really in shambles, like the entire area of Manila po.
Yes, I want you to remember it. And these people, they don't know. Most of these people have migrated to Manila. Some have migrated. No, but the thing is, the destruction was not only that. Yeah, the destruction was complete, with exception of San Agustin. And the worst part of it, the worst part of it is the massacre. More than 100, you do it, no, more than 100,000 were killed during the liberation of Manila. 100,000? Don't you imagine that? Nearly 100,000 massacred. Yeah. And a lot of them were priests and nuns and brothers. Manila has forgotten. Yeah.
I can't believe that you lived through this, Cardinal. That
I was a teenager. When it was close. I couldn't remember very well. Although I was in Batangas, we had the same thing. The Japanese killed, at least in Dipa, maybe around 15,000. In Dipa alone.
Cardinal, Cardinal, you have seen a lot of our history. You have seen a lot of our history in Mindanao, in Manila, in Batangas.
Yeah.
Ano yung nakita nyo po, Cardinal, na ano yung nakita nyo sa Filipino spirit or Filipino identity na malakas sa kanya or kahinaan din niya rin. So in your own assessment,
okay. I'll answer you, Jason. Good you asked me the question. Fine. It's the weakness of the Filipino. We when we're victimized, when we're oppressed, we could be so angry. Oh, nothing like the Filipino when he gets angry. But you know what? Now I think, is this his strength or his weakness? He easily forgets. Forgets, Jason. He easily forgets. I really, and that's the Filipino trait I noticed. I'm 88, going to be 89 years old. It's God for that. But I see the almost not only is a nature, it's a pride, culture. It's a good thing to forgive, but to forget, it doesn't mean to say that simply because you remember you're still angry. No, it's good to remember where you were hurt. Yeah, because that's a time when you can forgive. But yung bang kahinaan natin yun, see, as if not, nothing happens. See? And sometimes you put the blame on no one and what, but then when the thing, I said yes, I could think on that. When we angry, when you're oppressed, when you're victimized, somebody, you as angry as you could be, then leave it after about 3, 4, 5, no more. I know this was when the Japanese were defeated already, so there was several quiet and therefore peace. Is there peace when you're still angry? Is there peace when you're not forgiveness? Yeah. But we forgive. Then all of a sudden you get angry again.
I think it's a great thing though that we are able to forgive naman po. But you're right po that we should always remember the lessons. Tama po ba?
Exactly. Look at this. I'm talking only about a war.
And that is only
Look at what happened to politics. Politics. We've been devastated.
I don't want to go into politics.
No, wait. I'm just.
Almost like
I'm just using it as an example. See?
Yes, po.
See, one administration with this one and that, we're so angry. Afterwards, come election, you choose the same wicked people. See.
So we need to pray that we have the resolution to remember these things and then move forward po para we can progress as a nation.
Because unless you admit, there's no forgiveness.
Yeah.
Kailangan may closure.
Yeah.
Cardinal, in the book of Pope Francis, Let Us Dream, he related some experiences about his own COVID. No, he said something about his own experience of COVID in his life when he was Archbishop of Argentina, etc. Would you have the same experiences you would say as your own COVID or moments when you were really tested or tried? In your long.
What do this? Okay, whether COVID
I'm
or
using
war.
the term COVID as a metaphor, as an example.
Okay, but I mean, I got the question of Jason, Father Jason. Yeah, I said how about that example of Pope Francis. We have examples like that in our own life. It's not COVID. It's not a world war or what. And you know that you are being hated. You know that you failed. You know, yes, and it is like this. These things happen. Okay. Yeah. And you remember it. Yeah. Do you remember? In order to deepen the wounds. Or do you remember because you want to sanctify the experience in the sense that, yes, I am wounded, I'm hated, but I want to end it now. Okay. And that's the way. To remember is not to prolong the wounds. To remember is to own the wounds and offer it to God for healing. Jesus is exactly that. In moments when they were hurt, that was the woman was terribly dehumanized for being caught in sin. And Jesus said, go in peace. Do not do it again. Nine. Or Peter, all right. He disowned Jesus. Despite all the warnings. And he said, Peter, I know you will fall. And you said you will not. But don't you worry. You will recover. Two vero conversus. Confirma fratres tuos. He said, you will recover. And when you recover, you are going to strengthen your brothers. That's Jesus. He remembers you will fall, you will rise again. And Jesus is excited. Exactly. After the resurrection, what is it? His words is, go tell the women in the womb in the tomb, go tell my brothers. He even called them brothers, no longer friends. Remember before the Last Supper, say, I now call you friends. All right. Okay. Because you know what I have been teaching you, but he said, tell my brothers to go to Galilee. Yeah. Why to Galilee? Because Galilee is where they all began. Jesus is from Galilee. His first vocation, we call it all Galileans. We have a Galilee. We have a Galilee. I had a Galilee. And I also said, Jerusalem, go to Galilee. You have all offended me. They all left Christ. And when they saw each other in Galilee, every time we sit in Jerusalem, what is the greeting of Christ? Peace, peace. Peace means magkaibigan na tayo. Ano ka ba naman? Layo pa ng layo. Gaudencio, magkaibigan tayo. Tapos na yung ginawa mo. Alright. Peace. Peace.
Speaking of Galilee, Lolo, many priests are really thankful because of what you did sa Galilee Center. Tapos hanggang ngayon po, pinag-uusapan ng clergy yung National Congress for the Clergy. These are the things that they miss the most. And of course, this is all through your initiative. And what is your message to the clergy nowadays po as we celebrate the 500 years of Christianity? Kasi Margaux, si Lolo Dency talagang mga pari ang kanyang first love, if we may call it.
I love the priest. I am a priest. I have many brothers everywhere. And that's exactly what I can do. Yun lang ang kaya ko. Yun lang ang kaya namin ni Jesus eh. Yun lang mga pari lang ang kaya namin ni Jesus. Kaya ayan, nandito tayo. Kaya you're correct. He said, ang daming pinagkakutangan namin ng loob, because of that. Yung first, remember Jason, the first National Congress, we were very happy. We gathered more than 4,000, almost 4,000.
6,000. Eminence.
That was the second. That's the second. The 6,000. Nagulat kami lahat. Really? Yeah. Now so let's do it again. I said, ibigay na sa mga bata. All right.
I actually met you, Lolo Dency, in Rome at the canonization of Saint Pedro Calungsod. So that happened while you were Archbishop. I think that was another Manila milestone, Philippines milestone. So could you remember po that experience of having our second saint while you were Archbishop of Manila po?
I was happily during the time of the canonization of Lorenzo Ruiz. I was in Mindanao, and therefore we not travel long and far. So no, okay. But this time I was that, you know how good God is, all right? I was already in Europe when Calungsod was apparently canonized. Yeah. I was long in Europe. I want to make a confession. I was endured. I promised Our Lady that if I will be able to retire in good health yet, I want to volunteer, not as pilgrim, a volunteer as a confessor. And I was there for a month. I was accepted on condition that they do not know I am Cardinal Rosales. So they accepted me. Gave me a cold month. I wanted summertime, but cold month, everything is occupied. There are so many volunteers. You wouldn't believe it. Regular confessors. We are in 2 big buildings. 63 confessors a day. 63 confessors a day.
But was that enough to listen to the sins of the world?
No, my sins, right? Not the world's sins.
Of all the pilgrims po, di ba? There are many Filipinos who go po, di ba, to Lourdes. I think that's one thing.
No. Man, the whole world goes there. And of the 63, many are European confessors. A lot of them are French, Spanish, Italian, Germans, Polish, right? And then English, of course, English, Chinese, all the Korean. We all volunteer in different. I volunteered into the group of the English and Spanish. Yeah. So I was there. So they say, I did not even plan to be there. But then, of course, the planning of God, I said, okay, you proceed, your kababayan will become saint. That's it. So that
so from there po, you went to Italy for the canonization of Saint
Pedro. Exactly. Yes
po. I remember po that vividly. Going back lang po to Manila, I also heard, Cardinal, that you created the vision statement daw po for the Archdiocese of Manila. If I may read it po, the English version goes, a people called by the Father in Jesus Christ to become a community of persons with fullness of life, witnessing to the kingdom of God by living the Paschal mystery in the power of the Holy Spirit with Mary as companion. This is credited po to you, Cardinal. Tapos po yung Tagalog version, ang sinasabi po ay, bayang tinawag ng Ama kay Jesucristo upang maging sambayanan ng mga taong may kaganapan ng buhay, sumasaksi sa paghahain ng Diyos, nagsasabuhay ng misteryo paskal sa kapangyarihan ng Espiritu Santo kasama ang bahal na ina, ang Birheng Maria. Ang ganda po, Cardinal!
Inaawit niya, di ba, Jason? We sing
po.
it. No?
Yeah. Until now, Cardinal.
Thank you.
Being sung in the parishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to tell us that it is treason not to have a vision. And that's why we still have it. Ano po ang reflection nyo yan, Cardinal, from the outsider looking in? Kumbaga, as a retired Archbishop of Manila. And ano po ang challenge niyo sa amin ngayon sa Archdiocese in relation to the vision?
You know, the vision contains, I think, already the totality already of what we want to do, which agrees with what God wants us to do. In other words, yeah, it's true there. It's my experience of life in grace that the Lord used to create this mission, or rather this vision. Yeah. And
Yeah, it's grace.
that was it. And not only in Manila, not only in Antipolo, not only in Lipa, not only in Malay-Balay and Lanao del Sur. As you reflect on what's happening to the people you serve and what is happening to me and the rest of the priests, there are other people who helped, whom God used to help create this vision. Because vision is lifelong. Vision cannot change. For example, how can you change a vision when you're called by God to be a member of a community, of a family with fullness of life? How could you? Diyos ko, ayaw ko nito. Ay, anong gusto mo? See? And in all that, it comes in fullness of life. Not okay. While witnessing to the kingdom of God, witnessing, saksihan mo itong gusto kong malaman ninyo. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of the Father, the kingdom of heaven is mentioned. I do not know how many, I wouldn't say hundreds of times, but in the gospel alone, I think it's more than 30, 34 times. Ito ang gusto ko. At ito hindi mapapasa iyo, this kingdom of God. Kung hindi mo isa sa buhay, yung Misteryo Pascual, the Paschal Mystery. Paschal Mystery is not just the Mass. Mass. No. The Mass can sometimes be called the Paschal Mystery because Jesus is there in the Mass to be received by all of us in the Eucharist. Yeah.
I love it, Cardinal. And also, I was actually watching I watched the Mass for the International Eucharistic Congress that you presided over. And it's very, very timely po, even if that was in 2016. Your homily po there, you said that the Eucharist is mission. So it goes back to the theme of this year, which is Missio ad Gentes. I don't know if you remember po that homily, but I'm sure you remember the message of the Eucharist being mission. Baka po you could recall it for our audience, as it's very timely for today and this year's theme.
Yeah. It is a mission. I think it's shortly quoted by Father James Kugler in summary of that. It is quoted from my homily and also from Chito, Cardinal Chito, and there were several who were quoted in that book. But I think James Kugler sent me, and I said to him, it's a mission. Why? Because Jesus wants us to repeat it. Ito nga ang katawan ko, pero do it. Do this in memory of me. Di ba sabi ni Jesus? Do this in memory of me. Yeah. Live it. Sabi niya, celebrate it and live it. Yeah. And then may dinagdag pa na kinuha nitong kinuot niya. Sandali na ako. Bring it to people. When you receive, don't release it from celebration. Para sabi ko, the mission is, ang mission ninyo, release it. Baka parang ang Eucharist nakakulong lamang sa celebration eh. You understand? Yeah, celebrate. Hindi. Isa buhay mo yan. That's what, dalhin mo sa mga sasakyan, kasama mo sa jeepney, sa tricycle driver. The quote is in the book. I cannot recall it now. You could do it. Well.
I love also what you said, Cardinal, there, that there's a part there where you said, your prayer is as good as mine. And I think that goes to show your heart for the poor, and that it doesn't matter what your title is, but we're all loved by Christ. I think that can go to Pondo ng Pinoy, hindi po ba? Because that's another of your legacies. Could you tell us what inspired you po to create that, the Pondo ng Pinoy, which has helped so many?
Well, yun nga sasabi ko, that's what I will tell you. It's your life is the one that God is using. I stayed in a very poor, it was not even a diocese when I entered Bukidnon. It is only a prelature. Yeah. So, that is, dinatnan ko sa talaga. It was so very poor place. Talagang sabi ko na, yeah, talagang hand-to-mouth existence kami wrong. Bishop Claver introduced me to it. All right, ako, we take it, yeah. So, that was it. So, yung dala ng Pondo ng Pinoy ay nagsimula roon. Kaya nga, mong malay-balay, tulipa, to Manila. Yun ganun eh. I don't separate those three places where I stayed longest, yeah. And that's it. See? Bakit? Alam mo, hirap na kami sa Bukidnon. Depende sa, it's an agricultural province. Ang nakakapagtaka rito, there's something wrong. Why? Hirap na hirap kami bago makaani at ang mga tao nakapagsusugal pa. Nakapag-wetting pa. Ay, nako, ano ba ito? Then you keep blaming the harvest. Nag-harvest na eh. Nagsusugal ka pa. So there's something wrong. See, you don't blame the businessman who buy from you. You blame yourself for wasting the graces of God, and I think that's still true. Yeah. Doon nagsimula itong vision. Dala ko sa Batangas. Doon sa Batangas. In other words, you take one experience, try to improve it, and pagdating sa Manila, Jason, you remember?
Yes, but
people were, kasama ang Virgen Maria. That was Manila's trademark. Nandun, ask me about the Blessed Mother. Ayan na, pumasok sa Manila. So,
sige nga, Father Jay, ano po yung memories ninyo of it? Yung for us to share it, because myself, I don't know what you experienced po.
Which one? The one?
That one po, yung you brought it to Manila, and then the beginnings of the Pondo ng Pinoy.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Fullness of life. Fullness of life, di ba? Okay. Yeah.
Yes po. Okay, that's so nice. And then another thing po that I heard about you, Cardinal, is that you really are an advocate also for the environment. So it's very, very Laudato Si. It started up also in Bukidnon.
It is, yeah. You wouldn't believe it, okay, Margaux. We were preaching this in Bukidnon in the 80s. In the 80s. And you wouldn't believe it. We were telling the people, try to save the forest, because it's the forest that give us the rain, and the rain give us drink and irrigation. A time will come, we will buy drinking water. You know what? In less than 10 years from then, we were buying bottled waters.
Yeah,
And
it's
people
a
were saying,
tragedy.
you're crazy. Oh, yeah, all right. Now, what are we doing? Yes. So, but in our advocacy, and unfortunately, we lost one of our priests. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. Opo.
That was
Yeah.
in 1991. Yeah. Yeah.
You have really seen so much, Cardinal, like throughout the years, like from the beginning of this interview when you talked about um, the intramuros in ruins to all the way in Bukidnon and fighting for the environment there. Tapos po throughout the years, so nakita niyo po lahat ng who were the other cardinals po na nadaanan ninyo? Cardinal Santos, as they rebuilt the Manila Cathedral.
Right.
Did you have any? What are your memories of him? Because I am amazed at his legacy just from the books. I don't know it po because I wasn't born yet then. But maybe for our audience po, could you tell us, like, I mean, what was he like? Did you ever have any experience po with him yourself when he was your cardinal po as a priest?
Yes, but not in Manila. Then again, he is an item in history. Cardinal Santos was first Bishop of Lipa, where I come from.
Oh, so you have so much in common. Yes po.
Santos.
Hindi lang pala buko juice pinoproduce doon, cardinals din.
Right. And I was a seminarian when he was assigned to Lipa. Okay. He became our bishop, Rufino J. Cardinal Santos. Yan. Then, this was after the war, I told him. And then when he went to Lipa from Manila, because Cardinal Santos is a priest of Manila, he's from Pampanga, but then he became the secretary of Archbishop Michael O'Doherty. Yes. And when O'Doherty died, Gabriel Reyes, the old Gabriel Reyes, took over, and Santos was sent to Lipa. That's why he became our bishop. When I was in the seminary, my first seminary, Santos became the Archbishop of Lipa. And he invited the Belgian fathers, the CIC fathers, to teach in our theologate here in Lipa. Yes. And so those Belgian priests of San Carlos were all from Batangas. Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
All from Batangas. All they started, so sila Merskers, all right. Van Droma came later. The Van Droma, all right. Billet, yeah. He was director in Lipa. San
These
Carlos
names are
Seminary.
legend, Margaux, that the Cardinal has mentioned it.
Yeah, now you. Then, of course, after that, the Spanish, the Padres, Polish brothers, were the ones teaching in San Carlos. But with that was until Gabriel Reyes. So, okay, from Michael Ordre Reyes. Now, when Cardinal Santos was promoted, well, not the became Archbishop of Manila at the death of Gabriel Reyes, he brought the whole seminary, faculty, and seminarian to San Carlos to occupy the new building in Highway 54. Right.
I didn't know that, Cardinal. From Batangas, they were brought to Manila.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I said Cardinal Vidal became products of San Carlos. Yes. So this is another item in history.
Yes.
Naaalala niyo po pa po ba yan, Father Jason? Naabutan niyo ba yan?
I didn't inabot ni Jason.
These are
merch skirts. Inabot niya si merch skirts. Albert merch skirts.
Opo. They were also our professors, and I didn't know they came from Batangas pala.
Galing Batangas sa mga yan.
Yeah. Cardinal, going back to the celebration of 500 years of Christianity.
Go ahead.
What's your message to the Church in the Philippines, all dioceses? How should we celebrate this momentous event or occasion in our local church?
I suppose, like any celebration, jubilees are a time for pausing and activity, pausing for appreciating the giftedness that we have received. Definitely, faith, our faith, right? How we stop. I suppose CBCP has programmed it already, that we make reflections on what has happened. Yes. Not more than this, reflection on what has happened. At the same time, the celebration of thanks. And even if we're moving outward, because it is agentes we have, and in the brochure that I have seen, they say we have to move on. Move on. Yeah. But when you say move on, sometimes an extra, you go out. Yes, let that be part of the celebration. But what I think is meaningful is we will move on. Yeah. Why? What do we have to say to others? What new things are we going to share? Not just say we share with others. That is a very, very big question. Faith. We have plenty in terms of treasured beliefs and practices and devotions. Yes, and reasons to be joyful. Yes, we will move on.
That's just so beautiful.
Just because we have received that, I would say include this. Look at ourselves. We're going out. What do we have to bring to them? Take us a sharper look at ourselves. Yeah, why? This is very important. Look at ourselves, the way we live. And that's so many poor people in our midst. Now it's been into 40 to 50 people say they are poor. And the other day I was reading the United Nations statistics on the density of poverty. It is here pala in Manila, where the densest population per square kilometer all over the world is found. And I shouted when I said, what? I thought it could be Delhi or Calcutta. No. Where you could find in 1 square kilometer 100,000 people. And it is, Jason, in Tondo. I stopped. A very big assignment for us. Salamat sa Diyos.
Siguro po looking forward to the next 500 years. Yan po yung homework natin, like you said. How to address that.
It begins now, I think. Yeah.
I remember one of the homilies po of Cardinal Tagle where he said, so we're celebrating 500 years, so what? And I guess it goes back to what you're saying now, Cardinal, na it goes back to mission. Tama po ba?
Okay, so masayang nababahala. Okay, good.
Masayang
Para po
napapahala.
May panghumili ka na ulit, Father Jason.
No.
Okay.
Lolo Dency, we will not keep you long.
Oh, sige.
My last question for you is, what are your hopes and dreams for the church in the Philippines? What do you think are the mission statements or vision? Of course, you have explored it already. Can you just reiterate what you have in your heart about what you want to see to happen in the church in the Philippines or even the world?
Yeah, I suppose I already said this, but I would say it in another way and maybe in a more hesitating way. Okay. Maliwanag naman ang daanin. It's always been clear. Yes. What the Lord wants, come what celebration or what may celebration, it's all clear. Yeah. Yes. Jesus had made it very clear. Sometimes I would say to myself, made it very clear. Jesus made it possible. Anong possible? Jesus had made it, forgive by saying it, because pati ako tinatamaan eh. Easy. What? Easy? Oh. Jesus made it easy. Pinaliliit niya, madaling hawakan. Do we not notice from the gospel? The kingdom of heaven is a matter of small things. Yung pag-ahari ng Ama, na wala siyang karibal sa buhay ko, ayan ay pinaliit ko na. Singliit ng mustasa. Yeah, di ba? Jesus, Oo.
Mustard seed.
Pinaliit ko na. Pasok ko ng langit. Isang tasang tubig lamang yan. Now, do I begin to see the point?
Yes.
Pinaalwan ko na. Siya nga naman, siya. Ay, kung ano pang ginagawa ko.
Pinaliit, pinadali. Ang kaharian ng Diyos.
Jason, mapunta ka sa mga bookstore, kay science make easy, Chinese made easy, gano'n. Yes, Jason, pinaliit ko na. Ano ba bang ginagagawa mo?
We just want to make things complicated, Cardinal.
Exactly, Jason. Exactly. Yeah.
Jesus simplified everything already.
Ano pang sasabihin mga formulang pampapahirap eh.
But don't you think, Cardinal, na the Filipinos naman po are so blessed because I think we as a people of faith have the capacity to accept it that way, yung the easiness of it all. And that's why siguro po we're the ones who are, as Filipinos now go all around the world, they're working in different places in the world. We have so many OFWs. Parang now, di ba po, Filipinos are somehow becoming ambassadors of faith in different parts of the world. And isn't that the very embodiment of the Missio Ad Gentes? We're not even aware of the Latin term of it, but I think Filipinos, I have faith in the Filipino faithful that that we're able to we have that faith greater than a mustard seed. And we're able to express it so well. We're a very good example of it po. So I think, thank you so much, Cardinal. Siguro po, final words na lang po to all your fans. We would like to thank the Manila Cathedral, TV Maria, Quiapo Church, National Shrine of Guadalupe, the CBCP Mission. Everyone's so excited to listen to you po. So this is showing in all of those pages. And ang dami pong eager to hear you, Cardinal. So baka po you could just say hi and parang your greetings to everyone po.
Okay. So, maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na ako'y isinama ninyo sa hapon na ito. I want to thank you all for your time to be with me and ask you to remember me and those in my age that grace is for all of us. We are always graced, but it is all up to us to acknowledge it, to thank God for it, and to share it with others. Pray for me as I pray for all of you. May God bless you, your family, your clan. Now, tomorrow, always. Hi, God bless.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching, and congratulations to the Archdiocese of Manila for the launch of the Archdiocesan celebrations of 500 years of Christianity.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. God
Your
bless
Eminence.
you.